So, not sure what time it is now, 1 or 1:30 in the morning or something. Over there just a moment ago was our Great Pyrenees. Thank you for correcting me on that in the comments. The neighbor's dog from across the road. Big white furry thing. So the story is, one time, a couple of years back, the adjacent property right beside me is quite large. It was a ripping hot summer day, and I looked over and what's going on? So I wander the 300 or 400 yards over, and here's a Karen, you know that term, had seen the Great Pyrenees dog, whose name I forget, was in the field across the way. Well, that's the farm the dog lives on. So she had the dog tied to a little shade tree, and they were hunkered in there in the shade. Again, it was ripping hot. The dog tied with a scarf to the tree, and I said, well, what are you doing with my buddy's dog? And she says, well, it was in that field over there, so I went and got it, and I've called the pound. And I said, well, the dog lives there. That's its home. She said, well, the dog's filthy and obviously unloved. I said, well, the dog lives outside with her two sons. The guy who owns the dog, there's no house there anymore. The house got burnt down by some crackheads years ago. Anyways, I said, the guy comes and goes all the time, and his son, and I mean, there's quite a bit of activity over there. And pretty sure the dog's, you know, getting lots of love, honey. Well, I've called the pound. Oh man, okay. So I phoned my buddy. He's the guy who loves to slay my mailbox with the snowplow, but he's still my buddy. Anyways, I called him, and he said, well, you know, I'm down combining like, 30 miles away. I'm out in the middle of the field, but my wife's a realtor. I'll get a hold of her, see if she's free to come out. I said, okay. So I'm hanging around with this snotty, mouthy Karen, and the pound girl shows up. Cute little young thing, sporting lots of ink, heavy on the tats. And I explained the situation to her, and she says, well, I can't really just release the dog to you because I don't know you. And I said, well, the guy's wife's on the way. And the saving grace was, across the highway is Milton Township, and the Karen had called the girl dog catcher from the pound in Milton. This side of the road is Wellington. So the Karen is defeated, right? The dog catcher girl said, well, normally I would call the appropriate dog catcher, but under the circumstances, you know, she's not impressed with the Karen or the scene either. So my buddy's wife shows up, says, hey, Scott, thanks. I said, oh, hey, hello, how are you, Helen? Dog catcher chick says, okay, you know this guy, he's going to take the dog, right? Because the wife doesn't want to put the dirty dog in her nice car, right? So that's how it went down. Oh, the Karen was snotty and miserable, muttering, cursing the whole time. So rather than take the dog just across the street, we're worried about the Karen snatching the dog. I bring the dog home, stick it in my porch, and to show its gratitude, it had a big dump on the floor. And so anyways, that's why I didn't get a picture of her on the phone tonight. She thinks I'm the bad guy out of the deal. But anyways, one happy Pyrenees dog.